Hey guys, I just wanted to chat a little bit on today's workout because I think it's a good opportunity for me to just educate you guys a little bit, and hopefully that will help you stay safer, get fitter, improve a little bit faster and stuff like that. So we have deadlifts, heavy deadlifts for our strength, 3 to 4 reps, a couple sets, 4 to 5 sets I think. And so we did those last week. I didn't do them personally, but we did have them last week. And again, the reason why we do our strength work 2 weeks in a row is so that we can improve. So we found that it gives us, we're a little more comfortable since we are doing it a second time rather than, deadlifting, every few weeks or something like that, because we have a lot of different exercises that we want to get to. And so we generally recommend, with our weightlifting, choosing a weight or going to a difficulty where, of course, you don't feel any pain, your technique isn't breaking down, and you could probably lift that weight for at least another rep, maybe 2 reps, okay? And now, the main thing here is that your progress and your results are not going to be less because you went to, John was using 98% today, because you went to 98% as opposed to 100%. It is actually going to be the opposite. Your results are going to be better, you're going to feel better, you're going to stay safer, and you're going to progress either at the same rate or faster, since you feel better and you're safer and all that good stuff. And again, the goal is for your 98% next week to be a little bit more and more and more. And you just want to make sure that you're not doing too much too soon. That's the important thing. So if you did let's say 200 pounds last week, maybe this week you either do an additional rep or you do an additional 5 to 10 pounds. But I wouldn't do more than a 5 to 10 pound increase personally, because again, the main thing is that we also have to understand that just because we can do it doesn't mean that we should do it, or at the same time it doesn't mean that we're going to feel good after, or our bodies can kind of handle it, right? So if I've never lifted 210 before, I probably shouldn't do 220 or 225. It's just not really in our best interest for the most part. So progressive overload, we'll talk more about that, but it's just about strategically increasing the weight, the reps, and all that good stuff. So you just want to lift a little more. And then our conditioning today was really, really fun. We had the lunges, we had the toe to bar, we had high box jumps or box jumps, and then we had deadlifts. And now the key, especially in everything that we do, to remember is that our strength work is where we're supposed to lift heavier and get stronger, and maybe, I want to use the right words, like challenge ourselves with the weights a little bit more, okay? Not really our conditioning work. And if you're using a weight that's too heavy for you in the conditioning, like you're not getting the benefit of conditioning and the metabolic effect, the cardiovascular effect, the strength endurance effect, because you're resting or you're just worried about lifting a weight that's too heavy. And today's a great example. So the 225 pound deadlift, it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that heavy, but it's heavy for me, so I didn't do it. Could I do it? Yeah, but it would be just a little too heavy, and I don't know, would make the workout a little too unenjoyable and slower. And so, again, the strength work is where I'm trying to get stronger, and as I get stronger, then I will and should be able to increase the weights over time in my conditioning, but I don't try to get stronger in the conditioning. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So I used 185 today, and you know, it still was hard. It was the most unenjoyable part of the workout for me. That's just how it is. And you know, for the lunges, like, I'm sure they were hard for some. I don't really have that much advice on those. You just, if you gotta rest, you gotta rest. You know, toes to bar are a good example of, you know, needing a lot of flexibility and mobility and strength in a lot of different areas. And you know, 20 isn't a lot, but 3 sets of 20 is a good amount. So again, if you want to do 10 because you are just getting comfortable doing toes to bar, I think that's a great option, as opposed to like only doing knees to chest if they're really, really easy for you, you know, so you can like challenge yourself and progress. At the same time, doing 10 sets of 2 toe to bar is just kind of silly, in my opinion. And then you know, the box jumps, you want to make sure that you're still jumping on a box that's comfortable for you. It's going to be slower than what we normally would jump on, and that goes for everyone. And so you just have to understand that, and when you're jumping on a higher box, you just shouldn't go as fast. Otherwise that's going to be like dumb and you know, less safe. And so it's completely I don't know, it might even be more safe doing the high box jump because you go slower. But as long as you're going slower, you know, I don't think that it's unsafe or anything like that. And you're still gonna get out of breath. And so, you know, just a reminder to wrap things up. The goal is to improve week over week, not necessarily like day to day. And when I say week over week, you know, it's even more like month over month, or again, even, you know, quarter over quarter, year over year, especially in the beginning, you know, and just make sure that like your strength work is your strength work, where you're trying to lift progressively more weight, and then the conditioning should be conditioning. So you shouldn't, you know, always like be the last one finishing because you always use a weight that's too heavy. And you know, for the most part, the weights should be pretty comfortable to get through the number of reps that we have to get through. That doesn't mean easy. It just means I can comfortably get through 10 in either 2 sets of 5, 6 and 4, or 10 unbroken. It shouldn't be miserable. Like no single aspect of any of the workouts should like really be miserable, or, you know, other than like maybe the cardio or the workout in its entirety. So yeah, a little bit of a longer video than I wanted, but you know, I think it's important to just remember that. So the goal is progressive overload, and that just means, you know, a little bit more next week, a little bit more the week after that, a little bit more the week after that, you know, and to make sure that we are listening to our bodies and being smart about our training, and not, you know, trying to go so hard too soon or all the time. And yeah, hopefully you find this helpful.